So I thought I'd make a quick video on why I became Neet, how long I've been Neet, and what I think of being Neet after 10 years plus. So I first got into Need'em around 2013. So I had leg surgery. I had to get hamstring surgery. I used to walk with like a bent knee. So I have like mild cerebral palsy, and I have like kind of uneven hips. So my left side of my hip, or my right side of my hip, it didn't properly grow, and it kind of grew like some kind of like deformed looking bone thing. So it's not exactly in terms of normal, but once I got the surgery and everything, I'm doing like a lot better, but there's a lot of like compensation in like specific areas, so it makes things like kind of difficult here and there. But I'm lucky that I don't have it worse, because it could be like way worse, and you know, that would suck. So I'm really grateful for that. So excuse me. In 2013, I was in Neet for around 3 months or so, between like February to like May-ish, June-ish of 2013. And that was when like old school RuneScape came out, and like pre-EOC, no, old school RuneScape like just came out. So I was like grinding the fuck out of that, and I was playing like Black Ops 2 online and like Counter-Strike and shit like that. I wish I got more into Counter-Strike, but I don't know, never really clicked. I used to play like the customs with friends on like Source or like 1.6 for like a little bit, and then that's like the only Counter-Strike experience I kind of have. So yeah, it was like 3 months of Need'em. I went back to school, was doing really well. Hated school, hated fucking school. I used to just write my name on the paper and just turn it in, because I had a lot of, I don't want to say like depression, but just like a lot of sad thoughts regarding like things in my past life and stuff like that. But you know, it's, you know, now that I'm older and I'm kind of past it, I don't know why I was so wrapped up in all that at the time. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I've just kind of learned to callous up a little bit. You know, I'm a lot better like mentally, you know, shit like that. So yeah, after the 3-month period, went back to school, was doing good. 10th grade came along, was doing good. 11th grade, and then I kind of had a bit of a slip up. So had a lot of like stress, a lot of anxiety, stuff like that, because I didn't know if I wanted to go to college. I didn't know like what the fuck I wanted to do. Personally, I never wanted to do anything. I had pretty good cards like with my family and stuff, so I figured I would just continue being a Neet like after high school. That was kind of like the goal, but I also like had that pressure from my parents to kind of like do something at that time. So fast forward into 12th grade, I decided to semi drop out of school. I did online schooling because I didn't really want to deal with the people. I wasn't necessarily being bullied, but you just feel like you don't really have a place, and it was just hard as fuck for me to get up. I had all like scattered ass hours because I've been playing all these video games, and I really wasn't buckling down on like things I was like supposed to. So I decided to drop out of high school but do online schooling. So I was, you know, it took like a good couple weeks, and then they transitioned me over to online school. So I did my online schooling, finished up a lot of my credits, and it was like flying colors, because my school has like they're all about the scores and all this other shit. And I went to like a kind of cliquey, preppy almost kind of school. So they're all about scores and shit like that. And when I went to the online school, it's based off like the entire state. So it was like piss easy to do all the work. I would literally do a week's worth of work in one day, and then I'd like fuck off and play video games for like the rest. So I just continued doing that, graduated, everything was fine. And then I also did 1 year of my computer networking program, which was like pretty cool, because I wanted to get into like computer networking and be like a network administrator and work my way up to like higher positions and get my Cisco certifications and shit like that. And yeah, so I had things like planned out, but I still wanted to be a Neet, right? So as time went on, I graduated, decided to take a year off. Just said fuck it. You know, I had a lot of shit going on, especially since childhood. So I just said fuck it, took a year off. Played a lot more video games. Got like Master Prestige and like Black Ops 3 with like Dark Matter. And then I got permanently banned because I like was like selling like in-game currency and stuff, and I got permanently banned, and my Xbox got like a 2-month ban. So that fucking sucked. I ended up like buying like a PlayStation 4, and I don't know, I just said fuck that and like went back to PC. I always like stuck around with like console. I know like PC Master Race and everything, but a lot of my friends had console, and console gaming sucks, but there's like a couple titles that are like good here and there. But now you can, you know, emulate them and download them, and it's so much easier to play games in general on the computer. If you don't have a PC, I really recommend you get one at this point. But yeah, I took a good year off. I was like 19 at the time. Then I started having some issues. So during my years of my first year of Needham, I like maxed on old school RuneScape. I was like sub 1,000 in players, and I was planning on like really climbing the ranks because I'm Neat. I have like everything taken care of. My family's like really supportive of this lifestyle because they've known how much I've gone through with like medical history, physical history, stuff like that. And yeah, so I was like really invested in old school RuneScape at that time, and kept playing. And then my I had a semi-health problem that I got diagnosed with in like 2014. Wasn't all that bad. Pretty much I was in a constant state of like fight or flight for like ever. And I never got proper treatment for it because, well, I should say I did get proper treatment, but they like fucked up my medication. And like, that sent me down a fucking bad hole because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And I tried to explain things, and I don't know, you guys know how like doctors can be and like all that kind of stuff. I'm like pretty anti-big pharma. I try to do things as natural as possible, but sometimes like there's that rare occasion. But I did the whole SSRI route, and that fucked me up even more. Like, I don't know. I think it was just the way that I was feeling and being on all these different types of meds, and I just got so fucked up. So my body was in a constant state of panic because the doctor would write the script and he would fuck it up, and, you know, I wouldn't get my medication at the time. It was so fucking stupid. And I got fucked up for like a good couple months, if not like a good like year. So I quit everything cold turkey. I said, fuck this. I'm not going by the doctor's word. You know, I know my body, you know your body, stuff like that. Like, you know what's best for you. So I quit everything cold turkey, tampered off a little bit, did what I had to do, looked up all the information, got the fuck off everything. 110% better. 110% better. But I had a medical condition. I was researching all over Reddit and articles and anything that I could potentially read to kind of understand what was going on. So I flew to a medical hospital like Mayo Clinic, and they did all these tests and stuff like that. And I got my diagnosis back, and they said, you have horrible fight or flight, and your entire body, your nervous system is just ramped up. It's like you're a soldier in the war that has just experienced like some crazy trauma. So they asked me a bunch of questions about my life, and I was holding tension in these areas that was screwing up my body, but I would ignore it because I just powered through everything. I'm like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. I'm not going to take care of it. I'm just going to just deal with it. Like, I'm a dude. Like, I was raised to kind of just power through shit. not really complain. So that's what I did. And it kind of fucked me up in the long run. Just because I wasn't taking care of myself, and I just decided to ignore it because, you go to a doctor, they give you bullshit. They can send you to a specialist. They do all this ring around crap. And yeah, it was just a really big pain in the ass. So they gave me like a treatment program and told me what the diagnosis was. And pretty much because of the stress of going off to school, and, I was neat and I was trying to keep my head straight. This is all going on like as I was neat as well. But I figured, it'd get better because I'm young. I'm like 19 at the time, 20. I figured shit would get better, and it didn't. And my body got so tensed up to a point where I developed pelvic floor dysfunction, which, makes a lot of things screwed up. So, sexual function, bathroom, like all kinds of shit. And, I did all this research, did all this stuff. I couldn't have like sexual relations with my girlfriend at the time. And I don't know, man, it was just like all like screwed up. And I had to be on all these like special diets, and the doctors had me ramped up on all this shit for anxiety, shit for my stomach, shit for God knows whatever else, just things that like I didn't need to be taking. And it really put into perspective, because I did see a lot of doctors when I was a kid, and I knew, a lot of doctors, just kind of like the typical like American system, or I'm not sure what it's like in your country, but just all that other bullshit. And it really put things into perspective, like, hey, maybe I should do more research before I listen to this doctor that can give me all this stuff that makes me worse. And, I'm a young kid, you just kind of, with time, you kind of start to understand how things operate and work and deal. You just learn how to deal with it. Yeah, so that like really screwed me up. So I was like 20, 21 at this time, got my diagnosis, and I started just having like horrible pain, like screaming horrible pain. And it affected me mentally, and I wasn't eating, and like, it was just horrible. Like, I don't wish this pain upon anybody. And if you go through chronic pain, or you suffer from mental illness or whatever, I completely sympathize with that. I may not have what you had, but I completely understand like having these types of problems, and maybe you wanted to get out there but you can't because of this system and stuff like that. And oh my God, I just all the shit you have to go through, man, it's a pain in the ass. So yeah, like here I am now, I'm doing a lot better. The gap year kind of turned into 2 years, into 3 years, and I was trying to get a proper diagnosis, and I was in so much pain, and I was just playing video games to kind of get my mind off shit for a while, and I rolled into 4 years, and then I was in Neet for so long, and I went through so much stuff. I was like, dude, you know what? Like, I'm gonna enjoy, as long as I have, as long as I can, right? My grandma suffered from a lot of stuff that were semi-similar when she was around my age, and she really understood like what I was going through. And I don't like to talk to anybody about my problems. I really don't want to talk about my problems when it comes to any of this stuff. I feel like I'm just kind of ranting, or like just kind of being a crybaby, and like I don't know, it's hard because sometimes people just don't want to hear this shit, and I completely understand. Like, who the hell wants to like have a good day and like listen to some bullshit like this, which is completely understandable. Like, if you don't want to hear this shit, it makes complete sense to me. But yeah, just history of medical issues, physical issues, like deep depression, kind of sadness. Like I was reading some of these posts now is exactly kind of where I was at within the first 2-3 years of Needham, but I was also had like a semi good headspace because I knew I was gonna like get out of that black hole, or that sense of pain, because it just takes over your mind like completely. But yeah, just rolling into Needham now, things are really good. They're a lot better than where they would be. And if I didn't go through that, I would be in a much different place as a Neet, you know? So, yeah, 10 years of Needham, I would say you really gotta get a hold on your head. I know, like, I don't want to give, like, stupid bullshit advice, because I know you guys have heard every single thing in the book when it regards to advice about mental health and physical health, and I don't want to give you some bullshit, but the best thing you could do as a Neet is enjoy your time. Enjoy your time. If you're broke as fuck, I completely get it. Like, you're stressed out, you have other shit going on, but I'm just letting you know, like, if you're Neet and you're not working, imagine your situation, but you had to work like a really shitty, stressful job. Like, that's going to make your case 100 times worse. So if you are Neet, enjoy your time, keep your head straight, and just don't get too wrapped up in things, because that's when things really start to go south. That's coming from experience. That happened to me. Maybe your situation is different, but try to keep a straight head and, just deal with your problems accordingly and enjoy your fucking time. I'll catch you guys in the next time, and peace.